Welcome to the Edgeworth Echoes podcast, discovering Edgeworth's town, a hidden gem of Irish history.
Welcome to this edition of the Edgeworth Echoes podcast. This is your host, John.
Delighted to welcome you all here this morning to our 29th Ryan Festival. So over the years, we've had very exciting programs, but this year is no exception. We have lots of music and song and literature, art and wellness and resilience and lots of creativity lined up for the weekend. I want to thank our sponsors for over the years. We've been fantastic sponsors, and particularly this year to Longford County Council and to Creative Ireland. Also, who else? Thank our very hard-working committee, and of course all the help from people throughout the year, various people who've helped us to bring this weekend to welcome Matt Barl, who will officially open our 29th Mariah Edgeworth Festival. So sit back and enjoy.
The audio you just heard was from Angela Chute, kicking off the 2024 Mariah Edgeworth Literary Festival. It has been 29 years since this festival was first organised, and the planning, organising, anxious moments and genuine high points are still all part of the package that goes into the running of a festival. If you listen to the podcast episode, The Edgeworth Society, you will hear more background on the history of the festival, and you will learn how it has expanded and grown, added music, art, drama and other creative outlets to the tapestry it weaves over the course of 3 days. This episode will look back at the 2024 festival, which ran from the 10th to the 12th of May, the planning for which began in June of 2023. One of the early goals for the committee was to look for guest adjudicators for the poetry and short story competitions, guests who might provide entertainment, offer insights, or guests who might provide new viewpoints on history, culture, or life in general. So the search was on. Who would be a good fit? Were they well known or an up-and-coming star? Were they available for the dates required? From the shortlist that was drawn up, we chose Sheila Forsey, an author from Wexford, who would adjudicate the short story competition, as well as hosting a workshop. We also chose Victoria Kennefick, a poet from County Cork, who would adjudicate the poetry competition, as well as hosting a workshop. As a new addition to the workshops, Orla McGovern would host a storytelling workshop. Previous short story prize winner Fergus Cronin, who was chosen as a guest for our second ever In Conversation event, would be interviewed by journalist Sheila Riley. As previously stated over the years, the festival has expanded the range of events on offer, and in 2023 one feature was a conference on practical education. We decided this year to continue with the educational theme by featuring a symposium of wellness and resilience through education, which would be hosted by Richard Hogan and Maisie Lee in the library on Friday morning the 10th of May. Maisie is a theatre director who also uses drama in education. Richard is a family psychotherapist and a regular guest on radio, TV and in newspapers looking at mental health issues. Once the initial rush of choosing and contacting the guests was completed, other aspects of the festival had to be considered. Entertainment, accommodation for guests, venues for events. Were there other events that we could feature that might get people's interest? To add to the growing programme of events, we also decided to approach artisans and crafters who might be interested in having stalls at the final day of the event in the Green, the 18th century tea party. Another one of our previous winners was an American man, Partridge Boswell, who was touring with his band Los Lorcas, and he got in touch about playing at the festival. Add in some local homegrown talented Ceoltas musicians and we had the entertainment lined up for the final day of the festival. Other events to feature were open mic nights for poetry reading, as well as comedy, music, recitation and song. There was an art workshop and an art exhibition, children's storytelling and a heritage trail tour of the town. The festival opened with a symposium which was both informative and educational. Here are a couple of sample clips from the symposium. To hear the complete recordings, visit the Edgeworth Society channel on YouTube. First up we have Richard Hogan, followed by Maisie Lee.
This stat came out there in 2019. It was a review of mental health amongst college students. And we've never had more mental health taught. I mean, we've never had more mental health chat in schools. We've never had more mental health promotion. We've never had more literature about mental health. Our children have never been bombarded with as much mental health promotion as any other time before with TikTok and Snapchat and all the rest of it. And Instagram, I mean, they're swarmed with mental health. And that would be great if statistics were showing us their mental health is fantastic. See, it's much better. It's actually the opposite.
Okay, so as the kind of focus of the symposium was Mariah Edgeworth's interest in resilience and well-being, I wanted to focus this presentation on creativity and the voice of the child, which is something that I'm very interested in my work. I did a little searching around Mariah before I came, and two things that struck me that I think very much tie in with what I'm going to be speaking about is her belief that the human capacity for reason often the basis for the development and improvement of society, and that alongside her pioneering work in education, often based on observations and anecdotes from the children themselves, I think is something that's really interesting in relation to creativity and the particular focus on the rights of the child and the voice of the child in creativity and in creative education.
Angela Chu hosted an art workshop, and our Digital Hub Co-works hosted an art exhibition, as well as the open mic poetry readings. Our own Jimmy Jess hosted the Mostram Laughs open mic night in the Sportsman's Inn pub. Here is a clip from the Mostram Laughs open mic night.
And on a Wednesday, my trial was attested. On a Thursday, they said guilty, and the judge's gavel fell. I got stripes around my shoulders. I got chains around my feet.
My gravesite, so far from the motherland to travel, longing for my birthplace, my soul melancholy sighs, centuries of DNA, mysteries to unravel. Who am I, a blast from the past, a soldier in distant war fields to plunder?
Saturday 11th was primarily devoted to workshops during the day, but the evening saw our annual Culture Night event in the Green. This event featured both Victoria Kennefic and Sheila Forsey, who commented on the entries to the festival competitions, as well as reading from their own work. Some of the entrants who won prizes also read from their work. Musicians Derek Mahady, Lucy Skye Dunn and singer Corinne McCormick Bushell also entertained the crowd. First up we have Victoria Kennefic, followed by Sheila Forsey.
But it's about swings, and since we are so close to the playground and it was so lovely to see all the kids out enjoying themselves, it is my attempt, I suppose, to try and capture that unbridled joy. Swing. Push me higher until I'm all stomach, until my eyes are like that fist of muscle, tight and hungry. Fill me with green fields for sky. Push me higher until I'm all fingertips, feeling to the top, to the roof of our house, calling, Mother, watch. Very privileged to read to you, and I will keep it very, very short. I am haunted by houses. You mentioned haunted earlier, Elizabeth, and I very much feel haunted by the past, and certainly about houses and people and places of the past. So houses have certainly come into it for me. This is my last book that was published, and it's called The Lake House at Glenashee. So without further ado, I will read a small piece and then leave you alone. Chapter 1, Paris, 2019. It was the balm of the wild orchids that had evoked a memory of a house that had insisted on coming back.
Lucy Sky Dunn.
Hi everyone, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Sheila Riley. I was a former editor of the Longford. I'm great to see this event going from strength to strength. I can't believe it's going to mark 30 years next year. It's incredible testament to the work of a fabulous committee here. And it's lovely to be here with Fergus, of course, who has won the Mariah Edgeworth Fiction Award.
I don't find anything particularly interesting other than I started quite late in life. I've worked for 25 years as an engineer, but my abiding interest throughout my whole life has been in the arts. And even when I was working as an engineer, I always had an eye to what was going on in the world of arts in general. And I worked in theatre.
Musicians Derek Mahady and singer Corinne McCormick Bushell. Our final day was Sunday the 12th. Like other days, there is a lot of planning and organising for this event, but it is also the one day that can be most affected by something we cannot control, the weather. As with any outdoor event in Ireland, the topic of the weather was a key conversation point over the days coming up to this event. And the weather was great. Skies were clear and it was sunny. People came to drink tea, chat, listen to the music, wander around the stalls and generally have a great day. Some dressed up in period costume and we applaud them for making the effort. So the festival ended and we can look back proudly on the results of all the work we put in. Each year we continue to try and enhance the effort of the years gone by.
Satellite, cushion last long American night. This is radio nowhere. Is there anybody alive out there? This is radio nowhere. Is there anybody alive out there? I've been getting around the dead dial.
So ends another podcast episode, something a little different from other episodes, just a short reflection on one of the key annual events that the Society organises. We hope that you enjoyed the short clips from some of the events and you can hear more on the Society YouTube channel. If anyone listening would like to get involved, you would be more than welcome. You can contact us on our website or drop into the Mariah Edgeworth Centre and let us know. As always, please like and share this podcast. Until next time. If you are interested in learning more about the Society and the history they preserve, please visit www.mariahedgeworthcentre.com. You can sign up to our newsletter, book tours, learn about our annual literary festival, and read up on some of the remarkable people who have links to our town.
This has been the Edgeworth Echoes podcast, rediscovering history.